The film opens with the TV notice for Stratton Oakmont Incorporated. It talks about the idea of Wall Street intermediaries, depicting them as bulls or lions. A lion strolls through one of the floors of the organization. We next see an enormous gathering of dealers playing a game where they toss little individuals onto a board with a dollar sign for a bullseye. Jordan Belfort, Leonardo DiCaprio, then presents himself among those playing this game. He lets us know that he is the child of two bookkeepers living in Bayside, Queens. Since he began dealing with Wall Street, Jordan has partaken in an existence of vast medications and endless horrors fitting his personal preference. He is seen blowing cocaine into a prostitute's spot, and afterward flying a helicopter while jumped up on Quaaludes. We likewise see him driving his Ferrari and getting a sensual caress from a lady uncovered to be his significant other Naomi LaPaglia, Margot Robbie. As per Jordan, he does what's needed medications to calm most of New York's populace. The one medication he cherishes the most, notwithstanding, is the one that can cause man to overcome the world, cash. He grinds a line of coke with a $100 note, folds it up, and afterward throws it in a wastebasket. At the point when he was 22 years of age, Jordan started dealing with Wall Street while wedded to a lady named Teresa Petrillo, Kristen Milioti. He begins filling in as a dealer and he meets his cajoling, nice manager Mark Hanna, Matthew McConaughey, alongside another rough and profane co-chief, Peter de Blasio, Barry Rothbart. Jordan is astounded at how everyone talks and functions. He eats with Mark, who is doing a musical serenade while beating his chest. Mark orders an adequate number of martinis for them to pass the fuck out. He asks Jordan how often he jolts off. Jordan says regarding 3 or 4 times each week. Mark says those are new kid on the block numbers and that he does it something like 2 times every day. He begins chattering to Jordan about how no one knows whether the stocks will go up, down, sideways, or whatever, and that it's every one of the a fugazi. Imprint's essential justification for going into stocks was basically only for whores and blow. He gets Jordan to join in the cash chant. Jordan begins his most memorable day with his representative's permit on what is October 19, 1987, otherwise known as Black Monday. The stocks all over the planet fall, and Jordan loses his employment. At home, Teresa recommends they pawn her wedding band as he glances through the positions area in the paper. He runs over one spot in Long Island, financial backer center situated in a little smaller than expected mall. Jordan makes an appearance to Investor Center in a suit. The spot is simply a little foundation that barely looks proficient, with the majority of the intermediaries dressing nonchalantly and the workplace being a soiled, unkempt work area. Jordan is welcomed by Dwayne, Spike Johns, the one who runs the spot. He relegates Jordan to pitch a deal for an organization called Aerotine, a little organization out of a carport in Dubuque, Iowa. Aerotine is likewise a pink sheet, low-worth, stock and he will get half of the commission. Jordan calls a likely financial backer about Aerotine. He offers it to him as a colossal organization. We're blessed to receive a pic that shows it looking no greater than a device shed, however the manner in which he pitches it draws everyone's consideration. Everyone in the workplace stops how they're paying attention to Jordan, who makes an extremely smooth yet additionally exceptionally proficient attempt to sell something. He prevails with regards to making the deal and his new colleagues are intrigued. Following a couple of months, Jordan is bringing in serious cash. He is moved toward in a coffee shop by a rotund bespectacled man with fluorescent white teeth named Donnie Azoff, Jonah Hill. He inquires as to whether the Jaguar outside is his vehicle, to which Jordan says okay. Donnie says he lives in a similar high-rise as Jordan and notices he works selling youngsters furnishings. He asks Jordan how much cash he makes, and Jordan says he made $72,000 the earlier month. Not accepting it, Donnie requests to see a compensation stub for $72,000. Jordan hauls one out, and Donnie calls his manager to let him know he's stopping to go into stocks. Jordan and Donnie have drinks at a bar. We discover that Donnie wedded his cousin since he could have done without the possibility of any other individual attempting to lay down with her. Outside, Donnie smokes some rocks and offers some to Jordan. He endures a single shot and gets siphoned, telling Donnie they need to go running. The two find a carport where they intend to set up a business. Jordan enlists a portion of his companions to join. They incorporate Robbie Feinberg, Brian Saka, nicknamed Pinhead, Alden Kupferberg, Henry Zabrowski, nicknamed Ocean Otter, Chester Ming, Kenneth Choi, Nikki Koskoff, PJ Byrne, nicknamed Ryugrat in light of his trashy hairpiece, and Brad, John Bernthal. Brad is particularly notable for making drug deals in his old area. Jordan advises Brad to sell him a pen that he hauls out of his pocket. Brad advises him to compose something on a napkin. Jordan says he doesn't have a pen, and Brad offers it to him. Jordan likewise brings along a few people from Investor Center, including a person called Toby Welch, Ethan Suppley. Jordan and Donnie set up what is essentially an engine compartment in a neglected auto carport. The folks are good to go up at work areas, prepared to settle on decisions with the content that Jordan composed for them. They start with blue-chip stocks like Disney and AT&T. Jordan calls one financial backer to buy stocks in Kodak. Jordan expects to finalize the negotiation by making rough sexual motions to everybody similarly as the financial backer signs on. From that point, Jordan makes Stratton Oakmont and structures it into a lot bigger business with considerably more intermediaries working for him. He has gatherings of aggressive and confident specialists clamoring in his office flaunting their resumes to his face. As one Strattonite makes a deal, the entire floor celebrates, with a walking band and a major gathering of prostitutes. They even have one female worker get her head shaved assuming Jordan pays her $10,000 for her to use for bosom inserts. Over the course of the following couple of years, insight about Stratton Oakmont's prosperity gets around, from Forbes magazine to the FBI, explicitly Agent Patrick Denham, called Chandler. Forbes does an axe piece on Jordan, considering him an unpleasant Robin Hood and naming him the Wolf of Wall Street. Jordan is at first furious about it, however Teresa lets him know there's no such thing as terrible exposure and more youthful and energetic representatives run to his office. They welcome on Jordan's dad, whom everybody alludes to as Frantic Max, Rob Reiner, because of his continually bad-tempered demeanor. He supervises his child's records and castigates him and his accomplices for burning through $26,000 for a supper, interfering with their talk about involving the little individuals for their game, as seen prior. Jordan sets up a party at his Long Island oceanfront house where he declares an arrangement to take the organization into the fucking stratosphere. He is going to clear up for us the impacts of Quaaludes. However Donnie out of nowhere rises and gradually heads toward Jordan's pool table in sluggish movement, murmuring the name Steve Madden. Steve Madden, as Jordan notes, was the large name from Lady's point of view. Jordan then sees Naomi interestingly. He gets down to present himself, welcoming her to go along with him on his fly ski. Donnie's better half Hildy, Mackenzie Meehan, sees this and attempts to move Jordan away from Naomi by saying Teresa needs his assistance. Donnie then goes first floor and starts jerking off to Naomi before the entire party. Jordan takes Naomi out to supper one evening. At the point when he brings her back home, she welcomes him to her loft for some tea. Jordan is incredibly enticed by her, right before she gets out of her room completely naked. The two have intercourse for 11 seconds before Jordan attempts to get it moving once more. He proceeds with his issue with Naomi for some time before Teresa finds Jordan doing coke off her bosoms toward the rear of a limo. She hauls Jordan out and begins smacking him. She sorrowfully inquires as to whether he adores Naomi, however he doesn't answer. Describing again in voiceover, Jordan says he genuinely regretted harming Teresa, and afterward petitioned for a legal separation 3 days after the fact. Naomi moves into Jordan's condo. She enlists a decorator to retry the spot however Jordan would prefer, and she likewise employs a gay head servant named Nicholas, John Spinagatti. Jordan likes him until the night that Naomi gets back home to observe that Nicholas is holding a gay blowout in the loft. She goes crying to Jordan and lets him know that $20,000 in real money is absent from their room, as well as $30,000 worth of gems and different machines. Jordan, Donnie, Chester, and Ryugat investigate Nicholas about what he is familiar with the missing cash. Nicholas won't address questions, obviously safeguarding his gay companions, and rapidly redirects the conversation by straightforwardly letting them know that he thinks them doubting him is simply gay bias. Chester punches him hard in the nose, and he and Donnie hold Nicholas by his legs over the gallery to attempt to make them admit. Jordan calls the police, who capture Nicholas for taking, and beat him up, all things being equal. Jordan figures out how to recuperate the taken money through tax evasion. Since he perceives that these practices are unlawful, he employs a lawyer, Manny Riskin, Jav Favreau, to keep them clear. All Jordan thinks often about is that he's getting more cash than he and any other individual can understand how to manage. Jordan proposes to Naomi with a yellow jewel ring, and she acknowledges. He holds a Lone Ranger party in Las Vegas, where even the plane ride comprises of a great deal of prostitutes, liquor and a ton of cocaine. The wedding is likewise a quite enormous occasion. Naomi acquaints Jordan with her English Aunt Emma, Joanna Lumley, who knows about Jordan's cocaine use. Jordan and Naomi move out of their New York penthouse and purchase a huge chateau on Long Island. He even purchases Naomi a yacht as a wedding present. It's likewise named Naomi. After 18 months, Jordan and Naomi have a girl, Skylar. At this point, the couple is continually quarreling over Jordan's tricks. He stayed asleep from sundown to sunset, referring to the name as Venice. We see she is a prostitute who hauled a little flame out of Jordan's butt too.